Hello, and welcome to this long overdue video. So to this video, as you've probably seen from the title and the thumbnail, it's all about our first tower that we've created, fully finished, everything's done, called ToNA, or Tower of Newcomers Arrival. Is that right? I haven't been... yeah, Tower of Newcomers Ascent, sorry. This, as I said just now, this video is long overdue. I was gonna post it like just before December ended, but then I had, you know, Christmas, I had New Year's and things like that, and then I took a week off of doing anything, and I just kind of sat down and did nothing. So I'm sorry about that. But anyway, this is the tower. It's got, I mean, it's basically a tutorial tower, as I said. It just teaches you all the basic mechanics that you would want to know when you're doing towers in our game. I will say one thing while building this tower is it did get very boring and lackluster, because like after a while, like you can, well, I'll probably explain it more when we go into the tower because it's much easier to explain, but over time I got more and more bored because I wasn't able to express myself in building and whatnot. But this is the full tower. We've got a couple outside sections to, although they're quite easy outside sections, they're still outside. But yeah, let's just go play and stuff like that. Pretty much everything should work. I mean, the only thing that we haven't gotten working is client-side objects. And what I mean by that is when you finish a tower, they don't reset. So they just kind of lay there. We're working to... our team is working to fixing that issue. So on release, it isn't, you know, absolutely horrible. Even though it'll be a while away. But that is one thing that we're working on right now, is to make sure client objects load and reset correctly. Alright. So yeah, welcome to ToNA. This is a tutorial tower which will teach you the basics and some of the tricks needed to beat more harder towers. I think that's incorrect. I'll change that up. Yeah. It does introduce every single mechanic very quickly, and then it brushes over them in the later floors, or like it tries to remind you and stuff like that. I mean, there isn't really much for me to talk about here. It's just kind of me overlaying around footage. But yeah, I will say it was quite interesting to, like, I mean, I kind of treated this tower more as like learning what each part of the kit does and how to build it, which really did help. I mean, of course, it's like it's not like the best tower building, I'd say. It just kind of gets the job done. Teaches you everything you need to know. I will say, I'm not very good at like building obstacles yet. So basically what I've been doing is well, the main process of going through this tower was, finding stuff we liked in other tutorial towers, which included JTO and ATOS, or another's Towers of Stupidity, which I kind of I quite liked that tower a lot more than JTO's tower, but of course we did take some inspiration from JTO and how they explained glitches and things like that, so... oh yeah, oh hold on. I better go back up here. So, one thing I did not like about JTO's, or ATOS's tower was the falling platforms. Although they were indicated, they weren't like, you don't like know what the falling platforms look like. So in our game, we've made sure to indicate them using this universal stud icon. And although this does lower the skill cap, the skills, like, you know, it just does lower. It lowers, although it lowers the skill of the tower, it does make it so it's more fair and it's more, you know, consistent, and you don't have to, like, it'll just be, you know, I didn't jump early enough to get off that falling platform. Instead of it being, what, there's a falling platform there? So that's why we have those indications. We also do have some for other types of platforms in the game as well. So once we get to those places, I'll show them as well. But yeah, here's the first outside section. We wanted to keep it simple and sweet while still introducing some mechanics. So we've got speed boosters and jump boosters, things like that. You know, blah 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 blah. Zip lines are here as well. I mean, I think they're probably the funnest mechanic and whatnot in JTOW. Yeah. Now we have balloons. Wow. But yeah, I will say most of like, what the heck? Oh, I must have been the part. I'm horrible right now. I'm sorry. I've not been doing any obbies the last couple of days, so I'm pretty miserable today. But yeah, most of the scripting and like these parts working are all just provided in the JTOW kit. We have these. I feel like these are too what's the word? They're too like they move around too much when you tap on them. And they do kind of have an indicator. I mean, it's pretty obvious. They all have this Louis one stud on the top of it in the middle, which is why I didn't like. What the? Which is why I didn't put a indicator for it. But this one I did. These are disappearing platforms. You know, they disappear, and we made sure to use the inlet for them, so you're able to tell very easily, you know, what they do. Most of this music should be copyright free, I hope. I'm not too sure about a couple of them, but, you know, we'll find out. We'll find out if this video gets monetized, or demonetized, or anything like that. But yeah, so most of these early floors were like quite, I was thinking like how would they work and stuff like that. So that's why they're a bit more creative. But then the later floors, they get really dull and I think not as fun. Because, you know, like I was kind of getting burnt out of just building the same boring obstacle. I wasn't able to, as I said before, I wasn't able to express my creativity in these tutorial towers. Like, I feel like this bottom floor was like the last good floor, and then everything else is kind of like, so, you know, it's just some basic wraparounds to get across. Yeah, but now we've reached the end of the pillar floors, as I call them, and now we've reached the non-pillar floors, and this is where you can, like, before it was very full and packed because we had the pillar in the middle, but now we don't. And I thought that by this time we would be able to like you know, put in tons more features and like, you know, string them all together, but that was not the case, honestly. But yeah, it was quite fun to build. Like it was fun to build, but at the end, I got very burnt out, and I just didn't really feel like putting as much effort into my floors that I was building. This lock, actually, that took me a while to make. I just spent like a good like 30 minutes making that, because that doesn't come with a kit, so you have to make that yourself. And I just kind of copied. It's the most generic lock icon you can imagine. You know, it's not meant to be too crazy. And then here we introduce glitches that we would be using. So we've got, you know, basic trust movement. We are missing out on a couple, I will say. But we introduce all the main ones. You know, like the dance clip, the wall hops and stuff like that. And what I mean by we're missing a couple is like trust flicks and things like that. I didn't bother adding those in because I feel like you would have to explain them, and I don't know. I just didn't really feel like adding those in, because it would be a bit too hard for people to learn. Especially since it's the first tower in the game. But yeah, I added in this as well. Then we go back outside again. I will also say that my friend JRD did design one or two of the floors, which is good. So that's why he is credited, because I didn't want him to be uncredited for doing something he did do. So. Boom. And that's the end of the tower. Ideally, you can beat this in like 4-5 minutes. I don't know how fast it's been, but we do have like a couple skips in there, which you might have spotted, but we didn't want to add too many skips in because it was all so fluid, and it wasn't like, you know, I didn't really think it needed skips. But yeah, if we go up to the tower now after we've completed it, in JTO and ATOS, usually all these client objects would switch. They don't reset, so they're just all here. They're all still enabled. So we are working on fixing that. So hopefully we'll get that done. On a better note, we are starting to plan out TOES, which is JRD's tower. So there's nothing in there now because we're still in the planning phase, still planning on what each floor will have and things like that. I don't know when we're going to start building it, but I will make a video about it when we've started building it. And some other updates as well on other small projects that I've been doing. So yeah. I can't turn around, I just realized. Anyway, thank you very much for watching this long video, this very long delayed video. I should have done this in like December and whatnot. And speaking of December, I hope you guys all had a very good Christmas and a very happy New Year. I know I did. I've set some goals for myself, which I will explain in a different video, because I feel like it's not the time in this one. But yeah, also thank you all so much for your support on the first devlog video. I was surprised by, I'm going to turn off the music here for a moment, but I was surprised by how many people actually put out comments and liked the video, and just overall enjoyed it. I was not expecting this project to get a lot of traction at all, so I thank you for that. It has made me feel more confident in, I guess, in just making videos and also just sharing stuff that I like doing, because you know, I feel like it's quite nerdy and quite boring, but you know, thank you very much. I don't know what else to say here. I feel like that's just gonna be the end of the video. So yeah, I hope you guys all have a good New Year. Well, I hope you guys will have a great year, because I'm locking in. That's all I'm going to say. I am going to lock in, and I'm going to start building this, doing stuff that I wanted to do, and that is making and doing this game. I'm trying to be more, what's the word? More productive this year, and also just trying to, you know, make a living in some of my hobbies instead of just, you know, working and doing a job. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching this video. I don't know when the next devlog is going to come out. Yeah, like and subscribe and turn on the notification bell if you want to, you know, get active. Well, if you want to be the first to see the next devlog video, which, as I said, I don't know when will come out. It'll probably come out when the next tower gets made. And yeah, thank you all very much for watching. I'll see you guys all in the next one. I'm signing out.